Hello and welcome. We are live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India launches pilot project PM Internship scheme to boost skill development with financial assistance of rupees 5,000 per month for each intern. As conflict escalates in West Asia, a number of countries rush to evacuate citizens from Lebanon. Israel claims it killed Hamas government head in Gaza. Ravi Mushtaha launches airstrike in central Beirut as clashes with Hezbollah fighters continue. All right, news in detail now. Tensions are escalating in northern Israel as rocket sirens blared across the region on Thursday. The Israeli military has confirmed that around 25 rockets were fired from Lebanon into the upper Galilee. This latest flare-up follows an Israeli airstrike on Hezbollah facilities in southern Lebanon that killed 15 operatives. The IDF has issued a warning to residents of over 20 more towns in South Lebanon to evacuate their homes immediately. And Israel's military announced on Thursday that airstrikes 3 months ago eliminated Ravi Mushtaha, the head of the Hamas government in Gaza, and 2 senior security officials. This development comes amid heightened Israel-Hamas tensions. The region remains on high alert with potential for further escalation. And the intensifying Israel-Hezbollah conflict and Iran's recent missile strike have prompted countries to activate emergency evacuation plans for their citizens in Lebanon. Spain's defense ministry reported that one of 2 planes sent to Lebanon has departed Beirut, carrying around 200 Spanish nationals. The flight is expected to land at a Madrid air base. Japan's Air Self-Defense Force has dispatched an aircraft to Jordan to facilitate citizen evacuation. The planes will arrive by Friday and remain on standby. The Chinese government has evacuated over 200 of its citizens from Lebanon. And the Hellenic Air Force is conducting evacuation operations for Greek and Greek Cypriot citizens from Beirut. As tensions between Iran and Israel intensify, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian met with Saudi Foreign Minister Faisal bin Farhan and members of the Hamas delegation in Doha this week. Pezeshkian's visit to Qatar comes on the heels of significant escalations in West Asia. On 1st October, Iran launched a series of ballistic missiles targeting Israel, which has since intensified its military operations against Hezbollah, sending troops into Lebanon. And ahead of the first anniversary of the October 7 attack by Hamas on Israel, the country's ambassador to India, Reuven Azar, said the attack has strengthened Israel's resolve to neutralize the Hamas threat.
We were surprised on the 7th of October, and the nature of these atrocious attacks that included rape and burning and killing of entire families and killing of children in front of their fathers and hostages that were taken. This shocked us on the one hand, but on the other hand, it made us very, very determined to fight the terrorists, very determined to neutralize the Hamas threat. And our government was very clear about that. So we have seen that Israel's society raised up to the cause. And we are fighting the terrorists, and we are sure we are going to prevail.
And the Israeli ambassador hailed the Indian government's stance, particularly Prime Minister Narendra Modi's strong leadership against threats to humanity.
We are very encouraged by the approach of the Indian government, especially the approach of Prime Minister Modi. We are thankful for that. We think that we have to have leaders like him that have conviction, that are strong against this threat on humanity.
And multiple international airlines have suspended flights to the region or altered routes to avoid affected airspace. Indian flag carrier Air India has suspended flights to and from Tel Aviv until further notice. The Algerian airline Air Algérie suspended flights to and from Lebanon until further notice. Latvia's Air Baltic cancelled flights to and from Tel Aviv until October 31st. The Spanish airline Air Europa cancelled flights to Tel Aviv until October 7th. Tel Aviv Air France on September 30th suspended Paris-Tel Aviv and Paris-Beirut flights until October 8th. UAE's Emirates cancelled flights between Dubai and Beirut until October 8th. India has rejected US report on religious minorities in response to media queries regarding country update on India in the US Commission on International Religious Freedom report. India's Ministry of External Affairs has said that United States Commission on International Religious Freedom is a biased organization with a political agenda. It continues to misrepresent facts and peddles a motivated narrative about India. India has rejected the malicious report that only serves to discredit USCIRF further. India has urged the Commission to desist from such agenda-driven efforts and advised them to utilize its time more productively on addressing human rights issues in the United States. All right, let's go across to DD India's Amritpal Singh. He has more information on this. Amritpal, India firmly rejected the report by the US Commission on International Religious Freedom. Fill us in with more details. What more you can tell us?
Abhishek, they are diplomatically calling it rejection of the report, while it actually, if you look at it, it is an angry retort hit back at the United States saying that mind your own business, don't poke nose into our affairs. They've called the report malicious, motivated, biased, called the commission biased itself. Remember, this is a federal commission of the state government of the United States. That's their foreign ministry saying, you read out the statement by the Ministry of External Affairs. They've called it a biased organization with political agenda that misrepresents facts, peddles a motivated narrative about India. I'm reading from the statement. It's called it a malicious report, and they've shown in the mirror saying that use your time productively and address human rights issues in the United States. Now, this kind of language is rarely used in diplomatic relations, so it's an angry retort by India, given the fact that External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar was on US soil when this report came, and remember, at the Carnegie Endowment function, he retorted back by saying, well, if you've got the right to comment on me, you need to know your limits and know that I can comment back at you. So India, not just rejecting but retorting angrily to the report, Abhishek.
Angry retort by India, but report has been dismissed as politically biased. But Amritpal, if you can tell us, what does the report claim?
Okay, now the report says India is a country of particular concern. Now this is the commission of the federal government which comes out with annual reports on religious freedoms across the world. The report, Abhishek, says that there is persecution of minorities in India, and that is on the behest of the government of India, and it casts aspersion on the amount of religious freedom enjoyed by minorities in India. So this has been a consistent pattern that India has for a long time figured there on their list of countries of particular concern, so this year around the report is no different.
All right, Amritpal, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for your inputs. Moving on to our next story now. On his first foreign visit, newly appointed NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte held a joint press conference with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in Kiev on Thursday. Zelensky discussed the battlefield situation and Ukraine's victory plan with the NATO chief. Pledging continued support for Kiev, Rutte vowed to help shore up Western support for Ukraine. He also assured NATO's commitment of making Ukraine its member.
NATO stands with Ukraine for your security and for ours. Ukraine is closer to NATO than ever before, and will continue on this path until you become a member of our alliance. I very much look forward to that day.
Let's now take a look at other stories making news around the world. 4 journalists were tried in Moscow on Wednesday for links to the late Alexei Navalny. The journalists were accused of involvement with an extremist group linked to the late dissident. If convicted, they may get 6 years in prison for each. "25 police officers were arrested in Guatemala for involvement in a human trafficking racket. 2 of the arrested officers were retired. Nearly 10,000 migrants are believed to be exploited by the alleged network." All right, we'll slip into a very short break, but still to come on this edition of DD India Live. 9 people die after a fire ripped through a hospital in southern Taiwan. EU takes Hungary to court over foreign influence law. And devotees throng temples across India, marking first day of 9-night Hindu festival Navratri.
India is one of the countries most affected by the impacts of climate change. So what can be the solution, and can children become a part of the solution?
We show a picture of the amla berry, for example, and discuss their nutritional value. In this way, they begin to understand the value of different fruits and vegetables, and that's when they realize why it's important to eat these things.
If we convert this 120 million ton that we see into biochar, we see about roughly about 350 million tons of CO2 emission reduction.
We can cultivate and use in a responsible way, and maybe how small-scale community enterprises could start to use it as a way to support their local economy.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. The European Union took Hungary to European Court of Justice on Thursday over laws passed by Budapest to curb foreign influence in the country, whereas critics said the decision aimed to silence government opponents. Spokesperson of European Court of Justice said it considers its national law on the defence of sovereignty to be in breach of EU law.
Today, the Commission has decided to refer Hungary to the Court of Justice because it considers its national law on the defence of sovereignty to be in breach of EU law.
Now, in a tragic accident, at least 9 people have been reported dead after a fire tore through a hospital in southern Taiwan. The incident happened while the Health Ministry was evacuating patients due to Typhoon Krathon. Now, students and teachers in Egypt are in dilemma after the Education Ministry of the country decided to scrap many core subjects and a foreign language. This abrupt decision exposed the strains on an under-resourced and highly competitive schooling system in the country. Many teachers will be reassigned and may struggle to replace supplementary income earned through private tutoring. The Egyptian government vowed to fight private tutoring and considers it one of the biggest challenges facing the educational system in the country. The new decisions aim to lift the burden off the students and their parents by decreasing the number of subjects. India has launched pilot project for the PM Internship scheme today to enhance skill development through a centralized online platform. This platform, developed by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, will enable partner companies to offer internships with financial assistance of Rs 5,000 per month for each intern. Interns will participate in a 12-month program, giving them in-depth exposures to various industries. The scheme is part of the government's broader agenda to enhance skill development and employment opportunities across the nation. The Prime Minister's internship scheme was announced in the Budget 2024-2025, and the scheme will provide internship opportunities in 500 top companies to 1 crore youth in 5 years. It is aimed at enhancing youth employability and skills. Candidates must be between 21 and 24 years old. beneficiaries to get 12 months exposure to real-life business environments and will also experience varied professions and employment opportunities. An internship allowance of Rs 5,000 per month. One-time assistance of Rs 6,000 to the youth will also be provided, and companies are expected to bear the training cost and 10% of the internship cost from their CSR funds. And industry leaders hailed PM Narendra Modi's internship program, emphasizing that the program will build a future-ready workforce comprising of skilled youth.
FICCI is proud to contribute to the Prime Minister's internship scheme, which will provide internship opportunities to 1 crore youth across India's top 500 companies. They will be integrated into a corporate environment, endowing them with practical, industry-relevant skills. This will promote skill development and enhancing their employability. It will build a future-ready workforce that can drive India's economy forward. This thoughtfully designed initiative will enable industry to onboard interns from rural areas, ensuring inclusivity and diversity in talent sourcing.
FICCI is proud to contribute to the Prime Minister Internship Scheme, which provides training and internship to more than 1 crore people across top 500 companies and corporates of India. It's a great initiative which has the potential to provide the right skill set to so many youth, ultimately which improves their employability. MAMI is delighted to be part of this great initiative.
All right, my colleague Ajay Mishra has more information on this. He is joining us live to talk more on this. Ajay, tell us more about Prime Minister's internship scheme. What are the benefits? Tell us in detail, and who all are eligible for the scheme.
Thanks, Abhishek. I think this is one of the most ambitious scheme for the internship. Nowhere in the world the internship scheme of this scale has been launched, and today, the 3rd of October, the pilot project for this PM internship program, which was announced in the budget to actually help almost 1 crore youth in the next 5 years, has been launched. It is just a pilot project, and the target for this pilot is around 1 lakh youth to be employed as interns in various companies. I've been told that 111 companies till now have expressed their desire to employ interns in the days to come. The portal has been made live, Abhishek, today, but it will not be accessible for the youth as of now, because in the first phase it is being opened for the companies. So now companies till 10th of October will be able to post their vacancies in the internship programs on that portal. It is a government portal, it is a government scheme. So the biggest point to note, Abhishek, is that all the reservation schemes of the central government will be applied. So whether you are from SC category or ST category, the other backward class, the Divyangs and EWS categories will also be entertained as per the reservation policy of the government. That's the main point to consider. Another point is that if any of the family member is earning more than 8 lakh rupees, either your father or mother or your spouse, you're not eligible to apply for this PM internship program, which means that whoever are filing, whoever are in the ambit of income tax returns, they will not be able to apply for this scheme. Besides that, if you have done your graduation from a renowned institute like IIT, IIM, NIDs, and have done MBAs or MBBS, those kind of specialized graduates and postgraduates will not be able to apply for this internship. This is for the youth in the rural areas and semi-urban areas who are actually 12 pass or simple graduate. They will have a chance to go to the shop floors of the companies and actually experience the work culture, so that they are future ready for the workforce, as you have just described. So yes, these are some of the conditions for this very ambitious internship. But government is very hopeful that it will ignite a kind of skill sets which is required for the industry as of now, and it will make the youth ready for the future jobs in the days to come, Abhishek.
Also, you told us how to apply for the scheme, but Ajay, how are the top companies identified who will offer internship to the beneficiaries? What is their eligibility?
So, almost all the top 500 companies of India as well as outside India, they have been encouraged by the government to actually open their gates and their factories and their shop floors for Indian youth. This is a very ambitious program. Obviously, the MSMEs will not be, opened in the first round, but who knows that in the future, if this pilot project goes through very well, and the experiences are great from these top 500 companies, because they have the work culture, they have the large base of CSR, and remember the CSR fund is going to be used from the company side. They will they actually understand the future of the skills required for the industry 4.0 and the skill sets that they find the biggest gap between the academia and the industry has been recognized now. And as I was discussing, that this is for the very first time that any government have actually started this massive exercise of identifying the skill sets in the youth and then connecting the dots between the academia and the youth, which is coming up for the future ready workforce. But going forward, the top 500 companies has been identified. We believe that agriculture companies, auto companies, industry 4.0, semiconductor, green energies, these kind of energy companies, power companies, these are IT companies. These are some of the sectors which are likely to open more of the internship in the days to come. But going forward, I think the top 500 companies have been identified, and the government is in touch with the industry chambers, as well as they are also sensitizing the state governments to actually sensitize the industry there, because one point is also the Abhishek, that the government does not want the people to migrate to other state for these kind of internship programs. So the idea is that you should find the internship program within your states itself. So it's a massive exercise, and government is government along with the industry chambers like CI and FICCI are working hard for this pilot project as of now.
All right, Ajay, indeed it's a massive exercise. We'll leave it at that. Thank you for your inputs.
Thanks, Abhishek.
The 6th Annual Future Food Forum is wrapping up its final day in Dubai, bringing together key industry leaders, government officials and academia. Under this theme, Future Consumer, Future Government and Future Food, the forum has sparked lively debates on sustainability and innovation in the food sector. Plant-based meats have taken center stage, with discussions highlighting their potential to reshape food consumption and production while addressing environmental and health concerns. With the GCC food sector projected to hit $128.2 billion by 2029, sustainability has remained a top agenda, including an ambitious goal to reduce food waste by 50% by 2030. Experts are calling for more partnerships and collaboration across the supply chain, recognizing sustainability as a key business driver.
Vegan food and plant-based food is the future of the food industry, also here in Dubai, because especially here more than 50% of the people want to eat less meat, the same as we have it in Europe, for example. So what we do is we put pea proteins into our powders. It's a dry powder, no cooling required. Therefore, it's very sustainable, as you do not have a cooling chain behind it.
With plant-based, we are trying to tackle a major challenge in the whole world, actually, which is meat consumption. Plant-based is about loving the taste of meat, but we dislike the impact it has on our health and our planet. With plant-based, you can use less resources to create the same amount of product, and if you can do it right with the right recipe, you will have as well a great taste.
Now, wetlands are called the kidneys of the landscape and provide a rich food chain which makes them a biological supermarket. They purify water, protect shorelines and recharge groundwater. However, 35% of the world's wetlands is lost in the last 50 years, and we need to take steps to protect them. The 12th CMS Vatavaran International Film Festival on Environment and Wildlife takes stock and celebrates wetlands for our common future. DD India's Anil Thomas has the details.
The first week of October is celebrated as the World Wildlife Week. Wildlife and wetlands are two sides of the same coin. The 12th CMS Vatavaran International Film Festival and Forum on Environment and Wildlife with the theme Wetlands for Life deliberates on celebrating wetland for a common future.
We are also celebrating Wildlife Week. So this coincidence is valuable because wetlands are not only connected to us, but wetlands are connected to the wildlife.
The film festival focuses on steps taken to safeguard and create awareness about the dangers of losing wetlands and its impact on climate change.
35% of the world's wetlands have been lost in the last 50 years. India's wetlands too are under significant pressure from the human activities. Yet these obstacles can be overcome. Together as a nation, we have the power and responsibility to rise to the occasion.
The festival was launched on World Wetlands Day in February this year in Madhya Pradesh, followed by events in Lucknow and Shimla. The finale in Delhi has over 2,705 participants.
In the 12th edition, we got 800 films from 70 countries and 21 states of India. All these films were reviewed in a three-tier process. First process was done by CMS, and the second, 60 were shortlisted and given to the nomination. And the nominated films were then again given to another panel of experts who looked at and gave some awards. All the nominated films will be shown at the festival.
Wetlands are more than just swamps. They are vibrant ecosystem that support diverse life and livelihoods.
I'm very happy with the progress, especially this project is one of our long-standing cooperation. It's part of the Green and Sustainable Development Partnership between India and Germany, and this is extremely important for us.
A painting competition was held alongside the film festival. School children and youth participate to gain real-life experience.
The idea behind is just to sensitize the students towards the environment, towards the wetland, forest, like how can we conserve our forests, because they have chapters related to forests, related to climate change, and how can we find out the solutions for the same.
India is home to over 7,57,000 diverse wetlands covering 15.3 million hectares. This Wetlands for Life festival showcases remarkable films and discussions on Indian wetlands, highlighting their biodiversity, ecosystem services, and conservation efforts. Anil Thomas, DD India, New Delhi.
Well, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.